All right, we're live.
Let's go.
All right, what's up, everyone? I'm John from Side Hustle Experiment. I have my friend Will here. He is the founder of Stealth Seller. He'll talk all about that, what exactly it is, how it works, and all that other stuff, and kind of the benefits of that. So thanks for coming, Will.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, everyone. I'm William. I'm one of the founders of Stealth Seller, software that automates your storefront stalking. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Can you give me like a little bit of your background and kind of why you started
Mhm.
doing this, or
Yeah.
um, you know, how you got to end up doing this?
Yeah. So really, how everything came about, right? This was an idea I had with some friends, and I talked about, what if it can, what if we can do this, right? Stop, the fact that when you look at 1,000 ASINs, only 10% of them are clickable, right? What if we flip that and now 90% of them are clickable, where versus, again, right? The quality of data rises. I come from like the background of, the tech space. I'm a data analyst. That's really my career, what I do outside of Amazon. Personally, I stopped selling just for the fact that I'm not a huge fan of packing. It was hard for me to stick to it. Um, yeah, that's why I kind of took this turn, where I can do Amazon and data and still stay within the community and help everyone out.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like people are starting to come into the chat, so or come to the live, so that's good. Yeah, that's awesome. So, what can you walk like? What is Stealth Seller exactly?
Yeah, so Stealth Seller, what it does, right, is you give it a seller ID, right? From the buy box, you can pull someone's seller ID from the link. Um, and from that link, you input it into our software, which is embedded within Discord. Um, you put the Discord link in, sorry, not the Discord link, the seller ID in, and then from there, we will monitor and put every ASIN that they do have in there. And then from there, anytime they do add a ASIN to their storefront or listing, you'll be notified. And then as we build a database on this seller, we can tell you when they do restock a product, right? It's simply just by knowing when they had this one product, and then 7 days later they restock it again, right? It's very easy to tell when they do that, and that's why it's doable. But someone just needed to get this done, right? And that's basically it, right? Keeping it super simple. You don't have to no longer scroll through storefronts all night, all day. I think for me, one thing was like, dude, how can I save time sourcing? And that's the one thing, right? Like that's the most valuable time, or just getting your back time, getting your time back, because you can be sourcing for days and kind of just not doing anything else.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest, and full disclosure, like Will gave me access to the software. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now.
Mhm.
It's super powerful. As someone who I'm in a bunch of Discord groups, but don't really use Discord that often, I'm like, I was a little skeptical because I was like, oh, this sounds complicated or whatever. And
Yeah,
Will jumped. He's like, oh, come on, like just get on a call. It'll take 10 minutes. And like we were setting it up, and then like we ended up talking for like 2 hours.
yeah,
But it was like super easy to get like set up, and yeah, it just walked me through everything. And basically, it's almost like I guess you would say it's like a bot, right?
yeah.
Similar. I think that's
Mhm.
what people are familiar with. So it's basically like a bot that kind of is just scraping constantly. Or
Mhm.
what does it scrape?
It is scraping just their storefront, and then from there we do pull that data from Amazon of pricing and whether it feels fulfilled by FBA or Amazon. I mean FBA or FBM. So all that data is there.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's really great too. And
Mhm.
I do think there is like a really great feature, I guess, because what a lot of the times, like you get a storefront, you go through it, maybe you find like some good stuff from there,
Yeah.
and like everyone else, like you create a list of storefronts. You're like, okay, like I'm gonna visit this like every week or whatever, and then like life happens, you get busy. But with this, like every time, if you have a bunch of good storefronts, every time they add something, like you're basically notified like right away. So you don't have to like go back and check. I feel like I'm not like real techie, but like I'm sure that some of the other softwares, if you're just looking at that storefront every day, like it's not changing as much, but this is in real time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? It does get expensive to monitor all these kind of different things, right? Um, So that's really, I feel like maybe people haven't done that yet. Some people have started some of this, like this idea, right? And this idea is everyone had, right? But again, no one's kind of gone for it fully. And then also that, right, the experience using it. Like again, I'm trying to remove all the jargon that you see, right, when you're sourcing. Like you're looking at so many different things, right? I'm trying to prioritize. Like everyone has different buying decision factors, right? Like you're looking at the average price, or you're looking at, keep a chart. One huge thing is to keep a chart, right? Prices are everything, but we need to see the volume and the velocity within the keep a chart. And right in that data, the keep a chart's right there, as you would see right in Teleramp. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a good point too. Like they have Seller Amp integrated in there. They have Keepa. They have like a Google link in there. I feel
Mhm.
like I don't want to. I was thinking about showing one, but I don't really want to like blow up someone's store.
Yeah.
Uh, Basically, if you to like, so I feel like a lot of people are like kind of visual or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's just kind of like a almost like if you're in a leads group, it's kind of like a lead that
Mhm.
you would see. And I'm looking at it now. It has the title that's linked to Amazon. It has the buy box price, the average price, how many offers, the ASIN, the UPC, and there's like a search right below it.
Mhm.
Uh, and it says Google, SellerAmp, or Keepa, and you just keep that. And then
Mhm.
right below that, it's the storefront that it's coming from,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting to see a lot of the times. It's always funny, like sometimes I'm like looking because some of the people like that are in there, like I just kind of know their stores and kind of like
Mhm.
from just like looking at them and like as soon as I see a lead, sometimes it's like, oh, that's definitely from that store. Like just kind of getting that repetition, like where they normally source. Um, so yeah, I feel like that's like super
Yeah.
helpful, and it does like a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just monitoring when I started 10 stores. You're going to be able to do up to 40, right?
90.
90. Okay.
Yeah. There's the
So you
max
can
tier.
do 90 eventually.
Yeah.
There's three tiers. I think it's what, 10, 40, and then 90.
Yeah. Standard Pro Max.
Cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of like, it's just one of those things it's just one less thing to do. I think a lot of times, like one of the hardest parts is of sourcing is finding good source and like getting through that as quickly as possible. And a lot of the times when you're going through storefronts, like I know for me personally, you're going through the storefront and a lot of that stuff sometimes already tanked or
Yeah.
they get it on a crazy sale.
Mhm.
But with this, since you're getting like, I think you get like twice a day, it kind of runs through or whatever.
Every 4 hours.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it does that. So you're getting it in real time. So like someone's like basically just sent something there. I mean, you probably could still have a chance if that sale's still running, or
Mhm.
like maybe they just caught it.
Yeah.
Um, it's just really interesting too to kind of see. I think one of the things I like about it the most too, like we do a lot of apparel, it's
Mhm.
pulling in the size of it. So you know exactly what you're
Mhm.
looking at. A lot of times, Amazon, when you, let's say it was like a shirt or something, you click on it, you're not really sure what the size is because like it doesn't really link to that size,
Yeah.
but it says like right in the title. So you're just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like it's medium, it's a large, or
Mhm.
whatever. And it just makes it super simple.
Not sure if you noticed, but I think if you keep track kind of like in your mind, you can notice that the seller count is very low because depending on who you're monitoring, right? I typically like to recommend people monitor the people where you can go into the keeper charts and look at the people who caught the product before it obviously started selling, right? Those are the people that are going into stores, scanning everything. Again, right? Like everyone discovers product. There's different people, different business models, like how you select clothes and all that. Um, I noticed a great trend of how low the seller count is. Um,
Yeah,
just
I definitely think that's definitely um, a great thing about it.
mhm.
I'm actually going to. I think I figured out a way
Oh yeah.
to do this. For 1 sec. I'm gonna put share the screen.
Mhm.
Let me do that. Let me just grab this.
Yeah. Um, but again, right? Keeper charts are everything. So I think just even again, basically having the same thing as seller input. Like I think like one thing when I did right was going to like storefronts. I felt like I was kind of looking back in the past and the present. Um, this is just not present, right? We get rid of the whole past factor, looking at tanked products. You can see Keep a Church going higher or maintaining itself, versus when Keep a Church are obviously diving deeper. You can easily ignore those. And then obviously we do have the plan to. Um,
Can you see the screen now?
yeah, there you go. Yeah, I can see it.
So this is exactly what it would look like, and this is basically, I'm not gonna like pull up the seller's name or anything like that,
Hmm.
but basically this is kind of what you would get when you're looking, and you just keep getting these like pretty much every day, twice a day or whenever it comes in
Mhm.
from all the different stores you're kind of looking at,
Yeah.
um, which makes it super super powerful in my opinion. I just feel
Mhm.
like I wanted to show because like I feel like sometimes it's hard to like visualize for a lot
Yeah,
of
it is.
people. So that's kind of what you get. Actually, maybe one more time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel this, if anyone has any questions for Will or for me
Yeah.
about this, definitely drop them. I mean, this has saved a ton of time for me. Uh, I know for me, it's just interesting to see what other people are selling. Um, And I mean, someone did comment before saying that, stuff like this kind of just ruins things that you do. But like when this stuff happens, when technology happens, you just have to evolve and you're basically doing this anyway manually. So it's just
Mhm.
like, what's the difference whether you're doing it automatically or you're actually just doing it?
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, kind of like to like responding to Anderson's question, right? That this tool does have that power to kind of like how he says, right, break the market where everyone just sees every product. Um, one thing, right, like gives power to me versus you, right? Like you not having it and I am, is obviously like keeping it limited. That's important. There should be a cap level to it. And as of right now, our goal right now is to have people invite their friends and then those friends invite those friends. So that everyone knows each other. Along with that, we build a community of people that are experienced. So it's not just go on our website, join, and that's it, right? Um, that's really it. Keeping it exclusive is what matters.
Yeah, when we first talked, that was one of your things was just like, like I only eventually want to have like a certain amount of spots. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so is that kind of what you're still thinking?
Yeah, I think that's the move, the way we should be going towards, um, and that's going to be the longevity of the product, right? Um, Kind of keeping it exclusive.
Did you share a server with me, you said?
Oh yeah, I did. In case you wanted to show everyone, it is a testing server. They're mostly kind of like wholesalers, might be one or two sellers in there. But it's a great example of what it kind of does. In case
Oh,
people are curious,
oh, okay, perfect. I'm gonna pull this up then.
yeah.
Give me one sec.
Looks like Josh asked the question. How much is it per month? Yeah, so our basic tier is 134 a month. Our pro tier is 213, if I'm correct, and then our max tier is 235, where that's the 90 seller, and then the pro is the 40 seller, and then the standard is 10.
Cool deal. All right. This is much better. I actually shared it on like my second screen. I was doing the first screen and I was like, I can't see. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's on there. So I guess this is like kind of my Discord or whatever. But this
Mhm.
is an example of what the server would look like. Um, I don't know if you want to walk them through it since you created it, or like you want
Yeah.
me to do it. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, right. I mean, again, right, like it depends how we all kind of go about sourcing. Most of the time, like if we're looking at this toy, this toy is obviously running down to the bottom, so I'd easily skip that. Um, again, you can go deeper into like checking if it's actually still profitable, and then go check Keepa, see if there's sellers on it that are continuously at a rise or drop.
Yeah, like this is like super awesome because like you just do the quick Google search here. This is gonna take you to Amazon,
Hmm.
and like you could just see it right there. Um, which is super helpful. And yeah, like I guess similar to Seller Amp, like you're kind of seeing like the keep it chart right here,
Yeah.
where it's not always 100% accurate, but it gives you a pretty good picture of like
Mhm.
what might be going on, or you
Yeah.
can kind of look at this Kiva chart. You're like, it looks like it's going down a little bit,
Yeah.
but it also has the average price there, so you can kind of look at the buy box and be like, well, it's a little down, but like it's definitely worth looking at. I
Mhm.
would think. Um, so yeah, this would be what it would look like. So just
Mhm.
imagine that like all the storefronts you're typically looking at are just you're just being fed like basically everything that they're listing, and it would just kind of appear like this. I'm
Mhm.
glad you said you shared this server because it's much
Yeah.
easier than just taking like I literally just like expanded the screen to try to
Yeah.
block out everything, but this is much easier.
Yeah.
To
Like for those example, right? Let's hit go back up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Let's try to hit the go button. That looks like there's
the Google button.
ads there, right? 461 times two, that's around $9-10 buy cost. Yeah, that's not no longer profitable. But then again, right? Um,
Let's see what has happened. Oh yeah, some down 30%.
yeah, it's down.
Yeah, it
So
looked like a bunch of people. I bet
yeah,
you this probably dropped in the leads list.
yeah, I probably
I would
did.
assume. I would assume.
It was doing so well.
Wow, this was great. I guess I would assume this is meltable. So I guess a lot of people jumped on this, and then like someone was
Yeah,
like, "Oh, like you should go buy this," and
yeah,
then as like multiple seasons kind of went on, it kind of
yeah.
went down. Um,
Mhm,
but I guess like if you were technically
mm,
um, using the software
yeah,
and you saw it here, I mean, you could have got it at the top. Like,
exactly.
I mean, you there is kind of like a trend of it going up.
Tr
But even though,
try clicking if you go back to that, before the rise, right, like, where it was, like, around $24? Yeah, try clicking on those dots on the blue circles of the FBM, maybe a little bit lower. We wanna check the people who caught the trend, beforehand.
oh, I see what you're saying. Like right
Yeah, those people. So we wanna monitor those type of people.
there. That's a really good point. Like, yeah, because yeah, I think that's a big point too. A lot of the times when you're seeing stuff and maybe you're just kind of reverse sourcing
Yeah,
using
exactly.
something like SellerAmp or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, you know, sometimes you don't see this. Like I guess you could go back and like kind of look at these storefronts and kind of see.
Yeah.
But if it's already just like kind of in there, maybe you
Mhm.
like see this person and like notice on a lot of other Cupid charts, they're kind of like quick to the market
Yeah.
or want or like always in there.
Mhm.
That could definitely be a great thing that you could do. Um, so yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, this would kind of just be what you'd be looking at pretty much every day. And it's super quick. I mean, I only have 10 storefronts in there, but
Yeah.
when I'm doing the 40, it takes literally, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes a day. Really depends on what's in there. But like some of the stuff, like I'm already selling or I've looked at before and don't like it. Or a lot of the times there will be stuff like this is a good one. Like the size is right here.
Mhm.
Usually, sometimes it's like annoying. You got to kind of click on it and kind of
Mhm.
figure it out.
Yeah.
But it pops up right here on a lot of
Mhm.
other like kind of pieces of software. It just
Mhm.
takes you to like the general
Yeah.
thing, and it's kind of annoying. It's hard to like figure out like what size is this, or if you do a lot of clothing, or what is it a two pack? Like what variation is this? So it taking you directly there, which is a huge advantage and will save you a ton of time. And I do like the average price because like you're like, okay, the buy box is like that's great. It's like $76, but like what is it usually? Like sometimes it could just be
Exactly.
a big spike, or sometimes, in this case, it looks like it's a little down. So maybe a bunch of
Mhm.
sellers are kind of hopping on that. But yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of what it would look like for you. And this would just be leads from like kind of storefronts that you're
Yeah.
stalking.
And I think a good thing to look for is that when, like in that case, I go back up a little bit. Yeah, that product right there. No, maybe a little higher. Whereas, the buy box is higher than the average price. you're looking at a product at its kind of almost peak, right?
Let's see what's
Um,
here. Oh yeah, there it goes.
yeah, it hit its peak, and then I think
Yeah, it's on. It's
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it's spiked up. I guess like yeah, seller count went down
and then
there.
you could probably hit the Google button and see where everyone else is getting it from. Oh, so it's a Target product.
Interesting. Yeah, Target. Typically it's $10. So it must be on sale.
Yeah.
Like it's $10 and it's typically 13.
Oh, 8.
Oh, it's 8 now.
Yeah.
Oh, that could still work actually.
Yeah.
Well, with that increased seller count, I don't know.
Mhm. And then again, right, monitor those people who caught these products. That's actually a good category. A lot of people I don't see sell. So that actually takes some time to sit through. Maybe some people watching this can go through this.
It looks like maybe a VA looked at this of mine already because they have 14 of the seller in.
Yeah, didn't meet it.
Yeah, so it would be like $3. Again, like you could drill down. I use Seller
Mhm.
Amp. If you want a trial, there'll be a link down below for that. But yeah, also if you want Stealth Seller, there's a link down below. Or if you want to, check it out. Like Will said, I kind of like what he's doing with this. I'm gonna stop the screen share.
Yeah,
Um, where the and to kind of hold on. Anderson, okay, thank you for answering. I love software though, 100%.
Patrick Anderson.
Cool. Yeah, and that's kind of one of the cool things about it is Will is trying to keep it like somewhat limited because it's also in his best interest too, because then like if it gets super saturated, like no one's gonna want to use it. It's just
Mhm.
kind of like another tool. But yeah, it's kind of invite only. You can only get access to it through someone's
Friends.
link, I guess.
Yeah, so a friend, right? Yeah, either through a friend, right, or perhaps in chances like this, right, where we are giving a few spots here.
Yeah, no, I definitely. There's a link below where you could grab a spot if you want it. What is it?
The
If they
pro.
sign up today, is it they're good to go, or is it launch on?
Yeah, it's good to go. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, what does the process look like if they signed up? They click on the link, they kind of enter their info, and then what happens?
Yeah, so from there they'll be forced to join a Discord server where the community is at, and then there'll be message steps to set up with 2 videos that take 3 minutes. So the onboarding is super simple.
Cool.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, John. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, and yeah, thanks for like giving me access and kind of letting my audience know
Yeah.
that you could get this and giving them access to it.
Mhm.
Really appreciate it.
No, thank you. And then if anyone has any questions, they can go ahead and look us up on Instagram stuff at Stealth Seller, and I'm willing to answer any questions they have.
Cool deal. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next video. And thanks for being here, Will. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you, man. See you, everyone.
Peace.